So you're threatening me. What you are doing right now is illegal. It's an extortion.
So catching you guys in illegal activity, that's illegal on me.
Hey, guys, gals, and pals, Mr. Obvious here. And today, I just caught the Bricks and Minifigs CEO lying about everything.
You lied to me. It wasn't lies, it was just bullshit.
Ammon McNeff, the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, BAM for short, recently went on a Fox News interview. In this interview, he says a lot of very interesting things. Things that are not true, are total lies, and are basically going to destroy his entire $400 million company. If you're wondering what exactly this situation is all about, I'll give you the quick rundown. For those of you already caught up, feel free to skip ahead the number of seconds on the screen. So the gist of the story is this. An elderly, dying man and father is looking to leave some money behind for his family. Now, he's one of the largest owners of a Star Wars LEGO collection in the world, of which is worth $200,000.
Ouch!
This is effectively the life savings of the family and what he wants to pass on. Now, this $200,000 worth of Legos are at the retailer, meaning the owner is legally able to take back the Legos and any money whenever they so please. Now, here's where Bricks and Minifigs comes in. BAM acquires the local retailer and takes over the location. They've purchased all consignment contracts and are 100% legally bound to honor those contracts. But what do you think happens when Brian Mansell, the son of the father, goes to the store and pick up the Legos? So long story short, they say no, they shove him out the door, and then they begin selling off the Legos. This leaves the family in a really tough spot. And so Brian ultimately ends up going to Reckless Ben, the YouTuber who at the time had a humble 460,000 subs. Now he's at 1.1 million subs. Ultimately, Ben does try to go to the CEO and say, hey, can you please just give back the Legos? And honestly, I absolutely love what he says.
You guys would prefer the easy way. The hard way, I don't think you guys are really gonna like it.
Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
No, okay.
But we're getting back either way, so it's like you can either...
So you can leave. If you come back here, we will call the cops. If you don't leave right now, I will call the cops.
I see you choosing the hard way.
Beep, beep. So they refuse to give back the Legos. Reckless Ben then sues the company. Now I know what you're thinking. There's no way a small YouTuber could possibly win against a company that's worth $400 million. They won though, and by default, because Bricks and Mortars didn't show up. Yeah, and then they refused to pay the lawsuits. And that's kind of the basic scenario there. We call that the Frogan maneuver. Beep, 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 beep. Ultimately, Ben is forced to go all the way to Utah to serve Joshua Johnson legal papers because they won't pay the lawsuit and because this is what you gotta do. So they go all the way over to Utah, but this is when things begin to get wild. Beep, beep. Basically, the company calls the police on Ben and his crew. They don't let them serve the papers. In fact, a lot of the footage that we're about to watch right now comes from those unredacted bodycam footages, which have been leaked. Now, who leaked these files, you may ask? Well, it was the American Folk PD Police Department themselves. Yes, I know police department and PD are the same. I have flaws. Where are your good points?
But wait! There's more!
Well, my friends, it looks like this is one of those times I tell you that while I was editing this video, brand new updates came to the story. The American Fork Police Department PD just released the following statement on Facebook, and needless to say, things aren't going so well for the Mormon Police Department. No. Taking a look at the post here, let's read. The American Fork Police Department recently discovered that files not intended for public release were uploaded to a public folder. Upon identifying the issue, the police department promptly removed those files and conducted a review of the records associated with this matter. Following that review under applicable record laws, the department removed all previously posted files and replaced them with files approved for public release. The files currently available are the files approved for public release, and members of the public and media are asked to use those files.
There's no war in Ba Sing Se.
In other words, You better only use the files we want you to see, and not use the files we don't want you to see. I wonder which files they're talking about. Impossible to know. Impossible indeed. This thing has even gotten a community note. Wait. Community note. The AFPD redacted audio claiming the edits were pursuant to the Utah's state code, but they accidentally released the full audio files that reveals the edits were simply to protect the already sullied reputation of the police department. Now they ask that we both ignore both the crime and the cover-up. Chat, is this real? So, they've been massively mocked for this post. Let's go ahead and read some of the comments. Let's look at the top comment here. Jeff Solgood says, "Welcome to the internet. We do things differently here."
The police showed up, and again, for some reason, they are really trying to protect these criminals.
He didn't steal anything. He inherited the store from somebody.
No, he stole $200,000
How
worth
do
of...
you know this?
Because I've been spending the last 3 months in the case, and I won in court.
I'm willing to take any drug test you want.
Walking a very dangerous line, which can get you end up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you could end up in jail in Utah when you're from Cali.
Okay.
Not worth it, right?
Yeah.
We play differently here. We play differently here.
Very poor choice of words.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes.
But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
Because they do things differently in Mormon, Utah.
After some more research, we found out that both Josh and Brandon are super hardcore Mormon, which was actually extremely surprising to me, because if Josh and Brandon are truly Mormons, they believe that stealing is wrong, and if they steal, they're gonna go to hell.
Yeah, so basically that's just blatant corruption. It's like we do things differently. Yeah, that's the definition of corruption, when you don't follow the rule of law. So needless to say, I've already reached out to the American Fork Police. I'm wanting to see if they have some sort of public response to all this controversy. You know, I've kind of given them a few days to respond at this point. That was their chance to tell their side of the story. But for now, I have received no official response.
I can't see what this is about.
Rob Sanchez says, "Are you guys a parody of a real police department? Like Reno 911? These are absolutely brutal, folks. It is so over for the American Fork Police Department." So long story short, Ben is unable to serve the papers, the cops end up looking highly corrupt.
Remember when we did Hydra with the guy with the Desert Eagle?
Yeah.
This is his Airbnb. He's in my truck right now.
Oh, really?
And that's so And I told people that. He was like, what the fuck? That's so funny. This douchebag's probably have property. Oops. Shouldn't have said that.
Ben is forced to flee from Mexico after the American Folk PD throw him in jail without bail, calling him a flight risk.
You shout like that, they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing.
Now, they claimed all sorts of things against Ben, said he was making, like harassment, murder, harm, whatever. And it was all absolute bogus. So he had to flee to Mexico to run away and be safe. And that's pretty much the gist of where we're at, my friends. Now, if this was all there was to the story, honestly, that would be shocking enough. But as you're gonna find out over the course of this investigation, the rotten corruption in Utah seems to permeate the state. We're not just talking about police officers, judges, corporations, we're talking about an entire network of people. People who may belong to a mafia. Oh, I also forgot to mention this, but Bricks and Minifigs also sued Reckless Ben. They have not dropped the lawsuit. They're still planning to sue him. It's one of the reasons I'm making this video. I'm gonna go through it point by point. We're gonna disprove this guy with his own words. We're gonna discuss. I've actually got a major update on the whole story. More on that at the end of the video. Be sure to watch it all the way through because we have some important messages and some important footage and things you're not gonna wanna miss. Trust me. It's frickin' insane. They're stealing from children. Children!
And not just the men, but the women And the children, too.
It also goes without saying that even though the company has fired Joshua Johnson and Brandon Best, it really doesn't change anything. As you're going to find out in this footage, the CEO is pretty much the puppet master pulling all the strings. Not to mention, Brandon Best and Joshua own other BAM locations, one of which is in Eugene, Oregon. So they didn't really part ways. At the same time, I believe the family should accept no apologies from this company. And again, the reason for this is going to become very, very clear when you see this footage. And let's jump right in.
We reached out to Ammon McNeff, the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs. Let's get to the pending litigation against Brian Mansell. Is Brian named in a lawsuit that was brought forth by Bricks and Minifigs?
Yes, he's named as a party to the lawsuit that is going after the individuals who published, like the false statements regarding the situation that's gone on in Salem, Oregon.
So I just want to be clear, this guy's full of it. There were no false statements. All of the false statements, almost everything he says is what he's doing and what the company's doing. I think this guy, and by the way, I have to say this because for legal reasons, I'm not a doctor. What I am is a man with a love for psychology. In my opinion, this man has all the clinical traits of a psychopath. A psychopath? I miss riding bikes. No. A psychopath. A path for psychos? No, that's what it's called. Psychopath. Crazy people. Ted Bundy. Alex Bateman?
New Gaki. What do you think?
Very nice.
Picked her up from the gotcha yesterday. Erotic. I know. It's very cool, Bateman, but that's nothing. Look at this.
That is really nice. How do tourists like you get so tasteful?
I can't believe that Bryce prefers Van Patten's brat to mine.
Nightcrawler? Oh, you mean the guy who used to clean my windows? That's not it. His name was Raul. I remember he cleaned my giant windows so beautifully. I gotta get back to the video. When he was done with the job, I called Border Patrol. I'm gonna get in trouble because... Let's move on.
And that individual, is that the YouTuber who made the videos?
Yes.
Why go this route instead of, as people say, just settle Brian's collection and move on and make everyone forget it? Was that ever an option?
Oh, we've been working to try and work with Mr. Mansell.
Mr. Mansell.
You sit on a throne of lies.
They told us the same thing they told Brian Mansell, that we could fight them, but they would drag it out and make it so expensive we would be putting ourselves into a whole lot of shit.
A good little while. We've asked for documentation as far back as a year ago, but we continue to reach out to try and get towards a resolution with the Mansell family on this matter.
Here's their executive product manager and director of operations, Kai McAllister, on the phone with us the night they took the store.
If we go the legal route, it's going to be a very expensive battle for you, and it's not going to be a good position for you guys to get into. There's not a whole lot of options for you. If you want to go the legal route, it's just going to be a mess, and it's going to be expensive for you.
Yeah, so why not consider talking with us rather than leaping to this?
We jumped on the call with Crystal this morning.
And you talked with her, or you talked at her?
We talked at her. If you fight this, then you're putting yourself into a whole lot of shit. It sounds like a threat, and I can acknowledge you feeling that because in a way it is.
I mean, we have no choice, correct?
Yes.
Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication. Now
Are you going to hurt women?
I'm not going to hurt these women.
Okay.
Why would I ever hurt these women? I feel like you're not getting this at all.
I'm not getting it.
If you fight this, then you're putting yourself into a whole lot of shit. It sounds like a threat, and I can acknowledge you feeling that because in a way it is.
I mean, we have no choice, correct?
Yes.
So that was all a lie. I'm probably gonna have a bunch of clips here that kind of show that.
And have you and Mr. Mansell ever talked directly one-on-one?
Not as of yet. I have sent direct messages to the Mansell family and to Mr. Mansell specifically. Have a sit-down meeting, meet at the table, and go over all the documentation that we have and talk through.
At every step and turn, every time Ben tried to act in good faith, or even tried to get his stuff back, he's like, no, you're harassing us.
What you are doing right now is illegal. It's an extortion.
So catching you guys in illegal activity, that's illegal on me.
We're gonna send the police on you. We're gonna sue you, pal. And there's nothing you can do about it. And saying,
listen here, you're not gonna sue. Cause if you sue, we'll drag it out in court and you'll lose. We have more money than you. We're a $400 million company and we can't lose.
And basically gave them the runaround the entire time.
Yeah, like they're all locally owned and operated, and we can't do anything with it here. Their decisions are their decisions. For sure.
So when they say go to corporate, how do we respond next time?
I have no idea. You have to take it up with them. It's your thing with them. It doesn't involve us.
So I showed the manager what corporate Bricks and Minifigs said.
When corporate tells me this, I'm supposed to come back to the store, right? And so it kind of seems like you're going against what corporate's saying.
So FYI, this is a common tactic amongst dirty corporations, and it's actually one of the reasons I want to be part of this case. Because if we can get this lawsuit, if we can get discovery, if we can start uncovering just even half of the shady things this company is doing, we could take it all the way to the higher courts, maybe even get some laws or acts passed. Because this kind of thing is ridiculous, right? Corporate will say, go to the retailer. The retailer will say, go to corporate. At the end of the day, you don't get the help you need, and nothing gets solved. This is absolute nonsense, and it's the kind of nonsense that just has to stop. And honestly, that's not even the worst thing this company is doing.
And from our side of things, if there, have been any missteps through the transition of the store.
They're using, electronic communications to stalk and harass our staff pretty aggressively. Obviously trying to take pictures inside, somebody's home. They tried to come into our office yesterday. We've now had multiple agencies across multiple cities and multiple states. We've now had multiple agencies across multiple cities and multiple states. We've now had multiple agencies across multiple cities and multiple states. We've now had multiple agencies across multiple cities and multiple states dealing with these individuals. And the Sandy police yesterday were ready and willing to arrest these individuals for Utah statutes for cyberbullying and digital stalking because they're using electronic means for.
We want to make things right. We want to do what's right by the customer, but all we asked for was documentation, and every time we asked for that up to this point, we seem to kind of then lose the connection.
So that's a total lie. He told 5 different lies. And one thing you'll notice about this guy is that he's just lying a mile a minute. He's always lying. He's a liar. The family very much tried to reach out to them. They tried to give them the documentation. They had the documentation. That's why we know that, some of the claims are false. For example, consignment was part of the contract. They did buy the contract. They were legally liable for the contract.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours. He's taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
Before showing up, I printed out a copy of the contract the store made with Brian, saying that all of these Lego sets will remain his until sold. Because I have a contract, legal reason to be here, legally this does not count as harassment. Instead, the manager should be checking the store's inventory to see if these sets are still in their store.
Well, so here's still all of the Lego sets you guys still have.
I don't have anything.
You guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No.
Is that a lie?
No.
That's a lie. You did take the Legos.
So, as you can see here, it appears that Ammon McNeff has a super obvious tell. To explain this concept, I think the easiest way is to talk about poker. In poker, if you pay attention to body language, a tell is basically a physical sign, a habit, a quirk, a twitch that kind of reveals how a person is feeling. Fun fact, this is how the FBI and the cops read body language. Every time he tells a lie, he breaks eye contact, he looks down, and he shakes his head. That is indicative of somebody who's being deceitful.
So we have, our attorneys have visited, like, again, so who's
Brian Mansell.
Okay, and who is that?
He's a guy who had he had like $200,000 worth of Legos. In your guys' store.
So what's going to happen next is something I consider to be a classic case of psychology and a really good example of interrogation techniques and something in psychology called the illusory truth effect. When a statement is repeated frequently, the human brain begins to perceive it as more truthful, even if it is completely false. There's also the interrogator's dilemma. In interrogations, guilty subjects often employ a repeat strategy. They gain confidence, and their fear of being caught decreases. This fortified confidence makes their deception more convincing over time. So what you're going to see with Ammon McNeff is that as he has repeated the same lies over and over and over again, he finally finds his burst of confidence.
Never happened.
It wasn't until I reviewed the interrogation footage later that I saw something very unsettling. 24 years on the job. I've never seen anything like it. 2 hours. Never moved. Never blinked.
I mean, it did happen, yeah. It does happen.
No, we did not.
Yeah, because his Legos were in the store and you guys took them. I know you think lying to us right now is kind of like helping you out.
I'm not lying to you.
Well, look, we both know you're lying, but...
No, we don't know that.
This is a really remarkable case study. It's pretty much one for one what you would find in the psychology books.
So you've offered Brian the inventory of sets that was in the store.
Yeah, whatever was left over, we've offered that on multiple occasions. Whatever was left over...
You guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
And then, you know, like if there was anything that had been done that was untoward by the previous franchisee, if that individual had sold more than they let on.
These are ones that he has not been paid this percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
The reason I'm going through all of this is to prove one simple point. Everything Ammon McNeff says is an absolute lie. Because remember, at first he said, we don't have the Lego. Then he said, we didn't sell the Legos. Then he said, you know what? Ben stole the Legos. And that's when the company swatted Ben, sent cops to his house. Basically, they're trying to get him killed. Now, wrap your head around that.
Because it's not just harmless, you know, like, oh, knocking on somebody's door. This is stalking, this is harassment. This can't continue, so somebody has to be arrested to show that they can't continue to do this.
We got 5 right now. Including Ben Schneider? Yes. Sweet, that's good.
So right off the bat, we have a major red flag. Why the heck does Joshua Johnson have a direct line to the police?
But wait! There's more!
But this actually brings us full circle into this whole web of corruption. Just watch what they talk about next.
And ultimately, arresting someone for an offense, they go to jail, they get booked, they get let out. Yep. It's going to go through that whole same process. What's going to happen is, if he's got multiple incidents with multiple agencies, it's all going to go through our district court. But then they can kind of combine everything from what I understand. It's all going to go through our district court.
You'll notice they mentioned a district court judge. The same judge that's been signing off on all of the bogus arrests, warrants, and everything the police have been doing that basically is highly corrupt.
That's against the law, and you're gonna have to go to jail.
The district court judge in question is Utah Judge Roger Wadsworth Griffin. Roger W. Griffin for short. No, it's not Stewie Griffin or Peter Griffin. It's Roger. This is the district court judge that the police officer references. Interestingly enough, this is the same judge that's been signing off on a lot of the bogus warrants, such as arresting Reckless Ben without any bail, saying he was like a terror flight threat. Which is utterly ridiculous, which is why another judge released him. Now here's the thing.
I'm so glad we agree. If that's all, Lieutenant, there's just one more thing. I saw you doing.
This judge has a very long history of questionable decisions. In a recent case, he allowed a predator of children to walk completely free with prejudice. Prejudice meaning he could never be charged again for that crime. In other words, if this guy was abusing a child, he can now just keep abusing that child forever.
Okay, when I was 9, I got molested by a guy with Down syndrome. Every day for a summer. Every day? You couldn't avoid him?
He can't be charged ever again for that crime. This is the kind of judge we're dealing with.
You know, you're going to dodge that. You're going max. You know that, right? We're gonna classify you max. All right, and you're gonna go there, and everyone's gonna know. Baby killer. Good luck with that.
Not only that, I think like a year or two ago, he let go somebody, I think who was driving under the influence or something like that. He's being reckless. He ended up taking 2 people's lives, unfortunately. The judge allowed him, despite the guilty conviction, to go free with 0 days in jail. Now call me a cynical man, but I have a feeling that both of these men were probably Mormons. I'm not saying that this guy is a corrupt Mormon judge.
You want any idea what justice is? Whatever happened to right and wrong? Whatever happened to justice?
But when 7 out of 8 of the district judges of Utah are all Mormons, when the police officers are also Mormon, you begin to start asking questions. And that's a whole nother thing. The bed and breakfast are the ones who reported Ben because supposedly he overheard him talking about quote unquote the stolen Legos. Now remember, the bed and breakfast owner was also buddy-buddy with the cops. You know, they did hydro together, baby.
Remember when we did hydro with the guy with the Desert Eagle?
Yeah. Oh, and that's basically their MO. Throw a bunch of false accusations in as many states and places as you can, have them all bundled up, like the cops said, together to their district, and then they go to the corrupt district court judge. I already predicted this, but I don't believe that the police department or anybody here is planning to win this lawsuit fair and square.
Because I like it. Hell, I love it. I'm sitting here, I'm just itching. I'm itching to do it again. And you think what? You think some doctor, they're gonna get me to stop from doing what I want to do? Well, that ain't happening. I won't let them.
Bricks and Minifigs, for example, is likely able to get away with their evil deeds because there is some sort of mafia, and they're protecting their own. That's what a mafia does. It's disturbing, to say the least.
Kind of a funny story. To an elderly lady's home, buy some Lego, that a collection that she had kind of amassed and was ready to let go of. If you offer me a little bit more money, I'll let you have it. And then the other person, well, wait a second, I'd like some of this stuff. I'd like an opportunity. And so as she went into the back room, they said, you know what? Let's just go with the original offer, buy it, and then we'll divvy it up ourselves. We'll both get a good price and everything. And so then she came back in and they're like, hey, you know what? We've decided, we're both just gonna buy it together and keep the same price. And she was just crestfallen. But that was kind of the way that that was kind of the way that both dreamed about opening up a retail store.
A lot of people have been doing digging, and one of the things that have come up is an LLC called Legally Mine. Legally Mine LLC is an asset protection firm, or at least that's what it sells itself as. Now, right off the get-go, one of the issues with this company is that it was operating without a license to practice law in Ohio. Ohio Supreme discussed below and ordered Legally Mine LLC and McNeff to pay a $5,000 fine plus an additional $1,220 in costs. Now I want you to keep those numbers in mind. Long story short, it seems to be a scam specifically designed to steal from old people and professionals who are either duped or just don't know any better. And given that he was laughing about the Lego story and the old lady being sad, I'm inclined to believe that this is just the business model that they operated. And just to illustrate that, let's look at some of the reviews of this company. Zachary Taylor says, "Terrible company. Don't walk away. Run. After meeting with him, I consulted with my lawyer and he actually contacted the Utah Attorney General to investigate these guys. They scammed a dozen dentists at a local dental society meeting and refused to give their money back, even though they didn't provide any service to them." Chandra Manohar says, "The process started out promising, but when we finally met with the lawyer, he made it clear that they only focus on asset protection and not tax saving. Since our primary goal is tax savings, the meeting provided little to no value to us. We had already paid $10,000 up front, and after asking for a refund, we were told that $2,500 would be deducted for the meeting, leaving $7,500 to be refunded. I agreed to that just to get my money back. That was back in June, and months later, I'm still being told that no funds are available, and that a check will be mailed once they are. In reality, the so-called 100% money-back guarantee means nothing. I would strongly caution anyone using their services." So this is just straight up fraud. It's fraud, right? Not only did you steal her $10,000, you said you're gonna keep a little bit and then give most of it back, and then you just didn't give any of it. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's not the name that a Mormon would typically have. And so I have to ask myself, what are the difference between the people in the 5-star reviews and the people in the 1-star review? Could it possibly be that the 1-star reviews are, I don't know, not Mormon, which would basically make this not only illegal, but like a hate crime? Isn't it like a felony? So this falls under the public accommodation of civil rights law. This technically is not a criminal offense, and that's probably how they're able to get away with their crimes. But again, I'm just speculating. Maybe this person is a Mormon. Who am I to know? Anyways, it appears that Matt McNeff, the brother of Ammon McNeff, has been going around harassing influencers like MSG Bricks and basically anyone who goes against them. And when I read this to you folks, and this will be a perfect way to just cap off the video, try not to laugh too hard. Formal notice regarding proposed Reckless Ben collaboration. Malichi, you're receiving this email directly because it has been brought to our attention that through MSG Bricks, you have communicated with Reckless Ben about potentially creating peak content.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
Involving Bricks and Minifigs and the situation he has been publicized. Now, I want you to read this. Okay. Let me drink some water.
Please consider this email to you a formal notice, not to involve yourself, your platform, and your audience, MSG Brick, or your content in any campaign, collaboration, stunt statement, recording, poster, coordinate activity involving Reckless Ben, his associates, or claims are being made against Bricks and Minifigs, its franchises, owners, employers, vendors, or related.
The issue with him is not just internet drama. It is an active legal matter with serious civil and criminal implications. The implication.
They can't refuse because of the implication.
Oh. The situation has already resulted. Okay, guys, I'm messing up my voice and I need to finish this video. The situation has already resulted in arrest for him and several of his followers. Attorney and law enforcement of multiple levels are actively involved. Evidence has been preserved, continues to be collected, and will be used as appropriate. 9,000 confirmed kills. Nothing personal, kid. Jesus, imagine writing this cringe. What is he writing it to, just fucking teenager? What's going on here? It's so stupid. Okay, so let's keep reading. We are not going to outline our evidence, legal strategy, investigative details, agency involvement, or next steps in an email that may be forwarded, posted, clipped, or misused. But we will make this very clear. The public narrative being pushed by Ben and others is false. I did not have sexual relations with that dragon. I told you to stay away from her. She's mine. What? It says, we're not asking you to take our side. We are giving you a simple warning not to make yourself part of it. Okay, so this is what's known in the industry as a threat. or a veiled threat if we're being generous. I don't even find it threatening, to be honest. I find it funny. If after receiving this notice, you choose to help create, stage, promote, monetize, repeat, amplify, or coordinate content based on false or unverified claims, you may no longer be treated as a neutral observer or innocent commentator, depending on your conduct and communications. You could expose yourself to subpoenas, preservation demands, civil claims, and potential criminal implications. That risk is especially serious now that you've been placed on notice that the claims are disputed, evidence exists. Oh my god, man. This whole family is corrupt. This whole family needs a reality check, because guess what? Here. This is my message. This is my reply. If I were MSG Bricks, this is what I would say. I would say, the first thing I would do is laugh in his face. Then I'd tell him, you know, the more you try to silence all of this, the worse it's going to be for you. You're only delaying the inevitable. Everybody hates you. Everybody hates the McNeffs. Everybody hates Bricks and Minifigs. Everyone has seen your crimes, your collusion, and the way you worked with the corrupt police. Everyone knows this. No one believes you anymore. You have zero credibility. Your fake and false threats all constitute felonies. You are a crime family, perhaps even a more mafian family. We don't really know the full story quite yet, but make no mistake, folks, we're going to find out.
Surprise, motherfucker.
So, Bricks and Minifigs is now filing false copyright claims, emailing LEGO YouTubers, and harassing them, threatening to sue if YouTubers don't fall in line. Willie Mac Show says, I've never seen something like this from a toy company. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, huh? People are bringing up Ammon's asset protection law firm, which also looks to be fraudulent. Like, the company has 12 liens, for crying out loud. They're scamming people and they're money laundering. I guarantee you that if they're actually managing assets, those assets are being embezzled. 100%. Oh, and by the way, when I say that I think Ammon McNeff doesn't just have skeletons in his closet, but actual skeletons, like maybe somebody should tell the FBI to dig up his backyard. I truly believe that man has probably killed before.
To the founders when they were, you know, like helping us get signed on as franchisees, that the CFO of the brand, who actually was also previously a franchisee and then had been brought on as the CFO and you know, gained ownership in the company, he reached out to us to say that, you know, one of the original founders had been in a car crash. You know, one of the original founders had been in a car crash. You know, like, and it wasn't like life-threatening, but, you know, like it created a lot of complications for him. You know, like, and it wasn't like life-threatening. You know, like, and it wasn't like life-threatening. And so he was just finding it difficult to keep up with everything that he was trying to do to get healthy, as well as then running a growing brand. And I believe our store was like number 30 or 32, like open, something like that. And so we were still in the first, you know, like within the first 50. The two original founders, they then started talking to us and you know, like felt good about transitioning their ownership to my brother and I. And in 2018 is when we did that and took over, and then started from there, you know, like making changes and some moves and different things. So.
And with that, my friends, I think I'll be wrapping up this video. This is the story of how a CEO of a $400 million company destroyed his entire career after one disastrous interview, and also exposed a psychopath, at least in my opinion. But more importantly, my friends, stay tuned for the next video, because this CEO and company aren't just stealing $200,000 worth of Lego. They're stealing tens of millions. Young, old, pregnant, non-pregnant, children, brick by brick, they'll steal your shit. That's where we're at, folks. So stay tuned, stay excited, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're an X user, subscribe to the YouTube, vice versa. Everyone on YouTube, follow me on X. All those links will be down below in the description, including a link to my Patreon and Subscribe Star. We also have a donor box, and I actually need to update a lot of links, but for the most part, the main methods of support work. Patreon, Subscribestar, Donorbox. You can use YouTube memberships. Those should be set up by now. If they're not, they will be set up very soon. I have a lot of big things coming. There's a few leads I'm investigating. There's some people I'm trying to contact. And I do ask that your support in these dire times is more important than ever. Please share this video, post it everywhere you can. Because they're going around, they're harassing YouTubers, they're doing false DMCAs. I am gonna need you guys to be the ones to, you know, mirror the video, archive the video. I'm fine with mirroring, I'm fine with archiving. The only thing I ask is that you don't monetize it. You do, however, have my permission to take clips and bits of the channel, channel's videos, or even memes from my videos, and you're allowed to repost them. I would appreciate a watermark or shout out. You can find me at Obvious Rises. I did not expect this video to take so long, honestly. I hope it's useful. Everything I found and this video, the interview, the resources, all of them I'm gonna send to Reckless Ben so that he and his team can see what they're gonna do with it, if they're gonna do anything with it at all. I, however, believe that I found more than enough connections, more than enough proof, even with just what we have, for the McNeff family to disastrously fail any real court battle. So I think that ultimately, Reckless Ben is going to win the lawsuit, and I also think he's going to sue. I think the family wants to sue, the Mansells want to sue. This is all very good. We need discovery, we need transparency, we need the truth to come out. There seems to be this weird connection between the McNeffs, these businesses, the American Fork PD, corrupt. The judge, don't even get me started. I'm going to be investigating all of that. And we'll see how it goes. Technically speaking, I'm not supposed to be on hiatus. I have a broken toe. My health is not better, but there's just so much work to be done. And especially now that I've got a target on my back, and yeah, if you wanna update on that situation, go ahead and click the notice link. That'll also be in the description. Also to my Twitter. Again, follow me on Twitter. That's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that we're not dead in the water in the algorithm, but hey, it's been a long time. I'm happy to be back, and I'm not gonna stop. Not this time, not ever. There's people who want me gone. I refuse. I refuse. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time. Time to party! If by party you mean get a massage and crank a cold one with the boys, maybe. Oh, man. Honestly, man, you guys have no idea how hard it was to listen to that dude and listen to these people. Oh my God, man. I was gonna go crazy. I don't like them at all. And I'm not joking. Like, I know this video was kind of lighthearted, but like, these are monsters. You really have no idea just how bad this company is. So again, stay tuned, share the video, subscribe, support the channel, have a wonderful day, and I fade.